Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome on this warm evening, especially to my esteemed, distinguished panelists, Member of Parliament Gaurav Gogoiji, my friend Hardeep and Meera, Ambassador Hardeep Singh Puri and Ambassador Meera Shankar, my friend Gurucharan Das. Then we have Professor Chintamani Mahapatra and Mr. Rajesh Menon, DG CCI. Well, they don't need introduction. You see their faces on television channels. You read their article, read their books. If you want to read more, just have a look at their bio profile and the brochure. You can get all the information. In the same hall on 11th January this year, we had a discussion on post-election prospect of India-US relations. That time we were talking about prospect of India's relations based on the statement of presidential candidate Donald Trump. Now, with 100+ days, we can base on something more concrete the statements and actions and decisions of President Donald Trump. And I think it is more like watching a Hollywood thriller, keeping you on the edge of your seats. Every day is a new day, every week is a new decision, keeps you guessing. And I'm sure it has created a lot of, can we find some seat? One seat is here. Oh. And people are still feeling little anxious, some turbulence, disruption, and whatever you call it. And people are getting used to it. But there seems to be some method to this all disruption, if you may want to call it. I think President Donald Trump is the first billionaire businessman moving into White House as the president. And he runs the country more like CEO of a company rather than President of the United States. And he has recently lamented, I have so much work and so little time, and I was so much better off without this job. But then what he says on Twitter, whether it's about Mexico or Canada or Germany or France or Japan, it is noted, and people do show that there is some response or action. After all, when he told Japanese company, you can't just set up plant in Mexico and ship your cars here. That was noted. Now he has been talking about why should we have only one China policy, then we have seen what happened. So we have to judge President Donald Trump in a different way, different pronouncements. One is he has his own reasons. He has to fulfill promises made during election campaign. He has also to live up to the expectation of the core constituency which supported him. But nationally his rating is around 40%, on the lowest, but I was reading somewhere among the groups which voted for him, his rating is still 94%. They expect certain things from him, which he is doing. But then he has also shown some courage. I think he is the first president of the United States who publicly stated while addressing joint session of Congress that invasion of Iraq was the most gravest mistake in the history of USA. I don't know how many American presidents have said that. And then I was just reading today, after sending the aircraft carriers and Japanese moving there, Australians coming there, North Korea, and I was reading, then one of the interviews said this 27-year-old guy is a smart cookie. I can sit with him and under some conditions and do business with him. So I think we have still a lot to know. It's evolving presidency, and it's too early for forming any definitive conclusions. But as far bilaterally, I have been writing articles saying, look, in my view, we will have good relations Relations will expand because they have already acquired momentum since 1991. And the government may change in India and the US, but momentum will continue. And I personally very hopeful that there are some similarities between our Prime Minister and President Donald Trump. Both are very strong personalities, strong nationalists. He wants to make USA great. Our Prime Minister wants to make India great. Their methods are different, their styles are different, but objectives are almost same. But there are many other differences in their way of doing it. After all, Modi is a seasoned veteran politician, and he is now, I am told that he has outnumbered the followers of former President Obama on the Twitter. He is larger than Twitter. Followers, and Shashi Tharoor left far behind. And President Donald Trump is using Twitter when nobody else has done. Many serious policy decisions, you read about them on Twitter. So we will have a Twitter diplomacy era. But something new has started. Like in India, we are very coy about, okay, you are son-in-law, you are daughter-in-law, and people accuse you of nepotism and doing this and that. He has designated his son-in-law and daughter as the senior advisors to his team, doing it more openly. Actually, jokingly, last function, same hall, I said, look, I think our government should take note and try to appoint somebody who can connect with and deal with Kushner and Ivanka. And we might have tough time to choose the right persons to interact with them. I don't want to preempt, prejudge what my distinguished panelists are going to say, but I am quite hopeful that soon things will settle down and we will have, hopefully, very good relations between India and US, as we have enjoyed for last 10, 15 years, because there are strong reasons for the two governments to follow the path of closer relations between the two countries. I will stop here, and then I will really moderate this function. As I had informed my distinguished panelists, each one of them has 10 minutes. 10 minutes to answer. I will ask maybe 3 or 4 questions each. If time is left, they can comment on the comment of the fellow, but nobody is interrupting when they are talking. When they have reached 8 minutes, the lady there will give a buzzer. That means warning you, cautioning you, you have 2 more minutes left to wind up and sort of close your presentation. Thank you very much for coming. I am sure you will have a very stimulating discussion here, and we'll go back with some thoughts to ponder over. Thank you.